All right, fellas. Congrats to Brother Grimm for winning the bowl. Congrats to Kodos for having a great season, going to the bowl. And we'll let you guys talk about that game because I got to tell you, that was a great game.
Yeah, when Godos came out with that his first offensive play for 84 yards and a touchdown, I'm like, fuck. It's gonna be one of these games. I was just, you know,
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good at that moment too.
yep. While I was feeling bad, but Duke Freeman went on to play a damn near perfect game, man. I mean, we didn't get a lot of yards after the catch, but 26 of 31, 3 touchdowns. I mean, you can't complain about that.
I got to tell you, the ending of the game.
Yep. Tennessee, St. Louis, man.
That was it.
Oh, that was a great ending. You couldn't ask for anything better than that. To come
Well,
up
I could.
inch and shows. Well, of course you could, but as fans, you couldn't.
No, I was shitting my pants on that play. I was just like, Jesus Christ, he's gonna fucking pull it out.
That's what I was gonna say. What'd you think, Grim? Did you think it was like over?
No, yes, I did, but I didn't get into the game until we were about halfway through it. So that's when I got on and was able to pay attention to all of it. But when I came in, I was reading through. And that's where I saw that first touchdown he got. But yeah, I was shitting my pants, man. I just like, fuck, this is it. We held him again. Well, pass yards, obviously not 414. Jesus Christ. But he couldn't run the ball, and I thought we did all right. And then that play came and just had to hold my breath, man. And then, MIJB always does that little stutter step kind of before he announces what happened, So it's like, come on, just say what the play is.
And that adds some nice drama.
Yep, it does. It does. He does a real good job with those things.
Kodos, welcome to the show, by the way.
Yeah, welcome, brother. Nice to have you on.
Thanks. I was having some technical issues, but I seem to have that under control now. So
right on.
How are you feeling about your team, Kodos, with the move you made for the quarterback, and it's just turned your team around?
Yeah, well, if you look at the records before I had him and then after I got him, it's like a stark contrast. I got Ben's page where you can look at the owner history.
Okay, let me get to that.
It's like since I got him, I've been to the bowl 3 times.
Let me go to your team.
Championship 4 times.
We'll do this history. Here we go.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where you want to go.
Yeah, only one playoff before him with that Shane Shelton kid. I think it's Shane.
Yeah, so I was really just treading water before I leapt into that. I owe Steelstone a debt of gratitude for allowing me to get him because he the year before Livingston's draft, I was going after that Bicey receiver that MIJB got.
Mm-hmm.
And when I didn't get him, I traded down, and Steelstone offered me 2 firsts for that. And the second first, the one the next year, was the 4th.
You're speaking of Steelstone. I am Steelstone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. You try to fake us out with Clay versus Steel, but yeah, I actually did know that. So, yeah, so I really owe you for having because you came in and offered 2 firsts without me having to ask for it. So I was like, yeah, I'll take that. You had a tackle you were going after, like you drafted 2 tackles that draft, I believe.
Yeah, so I was trying to build my line. Yes.
Yeah. So that's what allowed me to have 4 first rounders to offer next year when Livingston showed up.
Yeah, Kodos, and I owe you too for you beating T-Zac because I can tell you what, I have no game plan for that guy. I don't think I've ever beat him. So if I would have been in the bowl with him, it would have been a slaughter, I think.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt. Like I don't believe I've beaten him since I came back in FOF8. That was my first win over him, and it was a real nail biter.
Yeah,
just getting that one. Like he's the one team in the league where I feel like I don't have any idea what to do to stop him.
Well, your team last season, look at 470 points you put up. That's impressive.
Yeah. Well, it's all Livingston. It's amazing what an 87 rated QB can do for you.
So let me ask you. So you reached out to it was Snapfinger. You got the trade, correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
And what'd you start with? Did you start with like 3 firsts, or you just said, "Here's everything I have"?
Well, I knew there was going to be a lot of competition, so I believe I made the full offer on the first thing. Like all the first, the seconds, my entire draft that year. It was kind of like my all-in moment, I guess.
I like it. That was good.
Yeah, well, like as Ben mentions, I'm not a real good drafter, so the picks aren't quite as valuable to me as they are to a T-Zach or a Ben, like someone who knows what they're doing in the draft. So I when I see a player I really want and it looks like a no-brainer, like I did the same thing with Jeremy Lynch a few years before to get him, like multiple first-rounders. So that's kind of, if you don't have a lot of draft skill, send them all to somebody else and get the sure thing players.
Yep. I was just thinking I may have to go raid Tucker for another wide receiver this year.
And, hey, I think
Feed the beast like that, though.
Yeah.
Like the same thing they were noticing with the T-Zach trade today. Like,
oh yeah, no. I only got one thing to say about that. Whatever wide receiver Zach takes at 1-7 is the one that Brian should have took instead of getting this guy with low route running and low endurance. I don't get the trade, but with all those wide receivers in there too, I think MIJB thought he said 13 were probably going to go in the first round.
That's what he said, 13.
And I could see it, you know.
Oh, we're talking about
none of them are going to fall to me.
You mean the draft picks?
Yeah, the upcoming draft. It's a very wide receiver laden draft this year.
What were you going to say before, Howie?
Well, I think we talked about this in one of our early shows, Clay. But now that Kodos is on, I made a play to get Livingston as well with against Snapfinger. I came out right off the bat. I offered him my entire draft for all 3 seasons that I had available. So that was 21 picks, and he turned it down.
Wow. Well, you were also kind of championship bound quite a bit, or playoff bound quite a bit.
I was playoff bound, yeah. So it was the only thing that I had, and then I counted back. I said, well, take a look at my roster. I'll throw on, throw some players out there that you might be interested in. I'd be more than happy to tack those on as well. And he still said no, there was nothing, and he ended up pulling it for the 4 firsts and whatever else. Kodos, I forget what else you gave him.
Yeah, I think it was like my entire draft that year, and then my first and second rounders the next 2 drafts.
Yeah. Well, then I tried to see if I could entice you into trading them.
Yeah, I was not going for that.
Hey, I tried.
Yeah. There's no harm in trying.
Hey, you got to make the moves. I like
That's
that.
right.
I like that people make the moves. They just give everything and say, you know what, this person's going to make my team better.
Yeah, like that's really the only thing I bring to this game is like I don't have great drafting skills. I'm not the strategy guy. I don't have spreadsheets that I work out of. I'm willing to pay through the nose for certain players, and eventually some people give in.
That's a good skill to have.
How about you, Brother Graham? You had you turned around your team from what was it? What was your record last season?
We were 8-8, and that's what I thought we were going to be this year. And once we got to when we did our last show, at that point I was 8-3, going shit, I might have a shot, And then of course I forget to turn in my export, and I get my ass whooped by Arizona at my house. I'm like, fuck, here we go. But then I beat Harlem and Brooklyn. And then the last 2 games, I thought, okay, well, that's how my playoffs are going to go. I mean, I should have beat North Plainfield, but Surt's always hard to beat. And then that fucking Quick just stomped me with his rookie quarterback. I'm like, what the fuck? So coming in, I'm looking at it. I'm like going, man, we got to play Jugs. We're going at him. I just I'm going to try what Howie did. I'm going to sell out against the run. And it worked. And then we got to go to Frederick. And I'm just got, no way. But we did beat Frederick earlier by a handy margin. So I kind of looked at that again. And I'm like, okay, let's just kind of go with this again. And we stomped him. And then with Mac, I'm looking at his game. I'm like, all right, well, we're just going to sell out against the run because he's got no wide receivers to throw to. And we did that and fucking stomped him. And then Toronto obviously had beaten the regular season and just kind of, looked at what he was doing recently to see if I could stop something. And, we managed to stop him from scoring, not from getting yards, though. So, yeah. Outside of that, I thought it was a great season with my shit roster. I think mid-season, Howie told me I should play Gilmore with that turf toe. I'm like, no, I've had a bad experience with that. Well, started looking off these running teams in the playoffs. And I'm like, I got to start him, and it fucking helped a lot. He didn't play really well, but I think he brought my cohesion up to that point to where it was really helping. Because just missing one guy from your starting lineup, man, that can fuck your cohesion bad. So
yes, it can.
But that was the season. Just a very pleasant surprise, and now my team name gets to be up on the big main page banner for a few seasons, so that's always nice to see. And happy with the season. Not happy with my draft pick this year with all those fucking wide receivers in there, but good season overall. And again, an unexpected one. I wasn't expecting to do that well. I just don't really have a great roster. So, and I'm a chem guy, but if you look at my chemistry, I mean, it's not what it used to be. My O-line, I think, is about my best. But outside of that, it's like my wide receivers and quarterbacks stuff, just I got none. So yeah, that's my season in a nutshell, man. It's satisfying, I guess.
Very satisfying. You took a team that was 8-8 and then won the bowl. I got to hand it to you. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Kodos.
I got to admit, I sent a T-Zac after I'd beaten him. He'd sent me a congratulations note, a PM or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I think I've got the hardest part behind me now. And he managed to beat me. So, you'd whipped me in week 2, so I knew it wasn't going to be a cakewalk, but I was much more confident in this game than the one against T-Zac the week before.
Yep.
So, but...
Yeah, again, no, that first freaking offensive play, man, I was just like, fuck me. This is just, I don't even want, I'm just going to shut this off and see what happens at the end. And I'm like, no, just fucking read through. You've done pretty well. So I just kept reading, and it got better and better. So,
yeah, we tend to be a fast start team, and we don't get as many points in the second half.
Yeah, I've been that way for a while too. We always just seem to peter out in the second half.
Yeah, and I'm just not good enough with the game plans to figure out what's going on there and fix it.
Yeah.
Well, you've been holding on to the division title for a while. You got Harlem coming up on you.
Yeah, they're slowly reeling us in.
Howie, I know how much you love your Texas.
Sorry, say that again.
I was gonna maybe he doesn't anymore.
I said I know how much you love your Texans this past season.
Oh, I don't even want to get into that. God, I started out well, and I just towards the end of the season just petered out. I had a couple of injuries in the secondary, really killed me. I couldn't keep teams out of the end zone. I couldn't keep teams out of the red zone. Offensively, I I played a lot more consistent this year than I have in past years. In the past, if I've let teams score 24 points against me, I'm usually losing because I can barely, I used to struggle to score 14, 17, 21 points. This year I seem to put up more points consistently, but defense the second half of the season was just atrocious.
Yeah, you were 6-2 in the midseason, then dropped 5. That's just bad.
Wow.
Yeah. Just awful.
After my game with him, he is like a kibosh was put on him, and he just slid.
But well, I don't know. My team is at a crossroads. I've got a lot of players who are they're in the last year of their contracts, and I could re-sign them, or if I want to kind of go a different way, now's the time to do it. I know that that brother, you do the chemistry method, and Quick's all about that. And I've for a couple of seasons now, I've been kicking into my head if that's something that I want to try to learn how to do. And if I'm going to do it, this is this season or next season will be the season that I start. Vital's on his last, he's on his last year, and the contract he's asking for is astronomical. There's no way that I can even begin to renegotiate with him this year. So he'll be on the free agency market next year if he doesn't retire. So I don't know. I still keep wrestling if I really want to go the chemistry route and learn all that.
Yeah, I tell you what, the more people that do it, the harder it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can't remember. I was watching one of the shows, but it's just, and it really does. I'm not saying don't do it at all, but just as far as like drafts go, it really does blind you. There's so many good guys I've missed out on because, like, we were talking last episode about that Clevenger guy, and a lot of people didn't see him, and I'm like, yeah, he was on my list, but I got blinded by a tackle that I needed because I had to cut a guy, and he was also a blue tackle. So I'm like, fuck, I'm blinded. I could have grabbed a great wide receiver at 115. Instead, I grabbed this tackle, and he busts. I mean, he may be useful, play a little bit, but not the guy I thought I was going to get. So but yeah, no. I mean, it looks like you already got a bunch of green guys on offense to start kind of doing that.
Yeah. So I'm set up for it, but I don't know if I want to commit to that. I don't know.
Well, you've gone this far and done this well without doing it too. So
yeah, and I agree. I'm really kind of more of a cohesion guy. Like I find guys that I like, and then I'll just I'll stick with them. Like my offensive line, keeping those guys together is a priority for me. And if I go to the cohesion route, like, am I going to get rid of my tackles and my guards that I have with I can't. As much as I want to do it, like I can't stomach it. You know what I mean? Like one half of me is like, oh, you really should try this. Like people who, people who are consistently at the top. This is what they do. This is what Grimm does. This is what Quick does. I see it in other leagues, but I just can't. I can't get excited for it.
You were third in total offense, 397 yards. You were third in rushing. You were second in total defense allowed. You're first in pass defense. So you have the pieces there.
Yeah, it's all like you're looking on paper, and I'm better than an 8-8 record.
Yeah, that's why when that slide started happening, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I'm like, what the fuck, Howie? Your team is playing great.
Some of it was Norm Shaver was hurt for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
so he was out, which put Ricky Gethart as my starting tailback. He was okay, but Lawrence Robledo retiring on me last season really kind of killed that backfield. He was a very dependable second back. He had a pretty high hole recognition. Gerhart doesn't. So when Shaver was out, I struggled with that, and then my secondary got hit by some injuries. And if you look at all my cornerbacks and my safeties, they're all role players. Like none of them have high endurance. They all have either, I've got my safeties have high zone defense and not much anything else. And then I've got cornerbacks that I just specifically rotate around. And whenever I want to, run press 2 coverage, I'll put those cornerbacks into those formations that I want to press. And then I've got cornerbacks that just play the man-to-man on the straight cover 2. And I can handle one guy getting hurt, but if I've got 2 cornerbacks out now and I got to bounce people around, or if I got a safety that's out, having that low endurance makes it really hard to put people into the rotation on defense and not get those extreme concerns, significant concern messages, which is what I got for 3 or 4 games because I didn't have the personnel on defense.
Right.
And I think that's really what hurt me more than anything was just the fact that I didn't have everybody in there. So like you said, you lose a cornerback. So now you're losing that cohesion rating that you have, which I rely on. But then I'm also getting all those those significant and extreme concerns because I'm playing guys, who really should only be playing in the 2-1-2 and in the nickel package. I've got them, playing in the 1-1-3, and I got them playing on third down, and then I have to have them playing in the 5 receiver package, or have to put them in the goal line. So it threw things off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, even with those injuries, though, still the number one passing defense. So
yeah, yep,
crazy.
Well, and down the line, it wasn't the passing defense that was really killing me. It was rushing. Like, I sold out to stop the run and against
Mac
Juggernaut, and he just freaking throttled me. And I would do well, in the middle of the field, but then teams would get in the red zone and score, just pound it down my throat.
Yeah, what did Mech have? You have like 275 yards rushing. Yep,
and then
275.
For some reason, and then for some reason, I've got a run-stopping defensive tackle. Who is it? It is Grady Wilkinson, who's my run stopper. He's got an 83 run defense. About halfway, 3/4 of the way through that 6-game slide, I noticed that he's inactive, and I didn't put him there. So at some point, I got AI'd for some reason or another. I don't know why. And it took him out of the rotation.
Oof.
So.
Oh yeah, God, he only played one game.
Yep.
Yeah.
All season.
Yep.
What the fuck? Wow.
Don't know. Don't know.
One game. Huh.
That should be pretty cheap next year.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Because the season started. I'm saying to myself, it's going to be tough to make the wild card because everybody had very little losses and a lot of wins throughout before you hit that stretch, Howie.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that a lot of teams were going to have like 11-5, 10-6 record finishing off the year, and maybe even a 10-6 was not going to even make the playoffs.
No, I had thought that I was going to be. I mean, I wasn't in a battle with Thanes for the entire season, but I thought it was going to be, like the difference between 11-5, 10-6 was going to take our division. I didn't realize that we were going to be, hey, you take the division. No, I don't really want it. You can win it. No, I don't want to win it. You take it. It was not the way that I thought that our division was gonna end.
Me neither.
No, but it was a nice fight. I like it, and maybe, like you said before, maybe you and I will keep meeting each other in the playoffs.
I wouldn't complain.
I was gonna say I wouldn't complain either. If that's how I make the playoffs, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Go ahead. Kodos, I want to ask you a question because we always ask everyone this question. Do you feel, is there something of need that's very important that you're not getting to that's going to make your team this dynasty team?
I'm having a hard time getting young, good receivers at this point because I'm picking high 20s or in the 30s each season. And nobody wants to trade with me for me to trade up the board. And I'm not a Ben. I can't pick out some guy at 130 and have him be a star. So that's a problem for my team right now. I'm kind of similar to was it Howie was saying his team was like half his team was in the last year of the contract, or that was Graham?
No, that was me.
Howie.
Okay, yeah, I'm in the same situation. I have like 27 guys in the last year, and a lot of them are kind of older guys who I'm thinking I don't want to be handing out bonuses to at this point. So I think I'm kind of looking at it as this is the last run with the team that I've had for the past few seasons, and I'm going to have to do some rebuilding.
Are there key players that you want to trade out, or you're just going to let them hit the market?
Frankly, a lot of them are older guys who they're skilled. Like my defense, if you look at it, there's not a lot of stars there. I pretty much devote most of my energy to getting. I've been trying to rebuild my O-line the last few seasons because that's generally what's available by the time I'm drafting. Like I got that star guard last year. What's his name? Harrison Garner. But he was a good get for us.
This guy right here.
Yeah. Of course, he got hurt, so he didn't have quite the season I was hoping for, but hopefully that was just an aberration. I mean, he had a pretty good run block percentage when he was in. He missed a bunch of games. But yeah, on defense, I don't draft a lot of players. Like I kind of fill up on chemistry players in free agency.
Your defensive players are getting old. You have a free safety that's in its ninth.
Yeah.
Another safety. Where is this guy? Not safety, but
and
a cornerback.
He's been. You're talking about Ruby.
Yes.
Yeah, he's kind of been disappointing. Like he has a good zone defense bar, but he doesn't really get a lot of pass breakups or interceptions. Like if you look at his position rank each year, like he topped one year he was 7th, but he's usually more like high 20s or 30s. So he's been kind of disappointing. I actually switched him from a cornerback to safety. I don't know if that's panned out all that well. But yeah, if you look at especially linebackers, I seem to not really value those too much. So I just pick up whatever chemistry guys are available.
The same way like you. I don't value linebackers in my on my team as well.
I do.
I know you do. There's other people that I just don't.
Yeah, and it's probably listening to the Quick and Squirrel show and some of those other videos. That's where I got most of my roster building ideas from.
Yep.
I do like the chemistry thing because it limits the number of players I have to look at and evaluate. Yeah, because if I had to evaluate the entire league's worth of players in the draft, when I'm already not all that confident about my abilities, I think that would make it harder. So it kind of focuses me on, okay, well, I look at these guys and, I think it helps focus me on, what players to go after. So for me, it's a benefit, not a problem.
You can save money if you drop Livingston, and then you can get all the other players you need.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Clay. That's an awesome idea.
I would be more likely to drop the entire rest of the team.
Right?
I think he's one of those generational talents that Quick and Squirrel were talking about in one of their videos.
He is. Tzak keeps comparing him to Barge, which I totally see.
Yeah.
Derek Barge is a guy that I battled with, and I remember Bomber yelling at me, God, but he would have so many more championships as it wasn't for your team, because I knocked him out of the playoffs probably 4 times. But, yeah, definitely comparable to Derek Barge for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly, turned my team around from a very average team to, a threat to go pretty deep in the playoffs every season.
Yep.
I guess the biggest compliment I'll give myself is I haven't gotten in his way by my enough game planning. Like he's been able to overcome whatever flaws I have to move us through the playoffs.
Well, let's hope that stays that way. If I ever make the bowl and I face you, you don't have that skill yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's funny. Like when I played Tzak a few years in a row, I would try to tailor the defense just for him since he's, Mr. All Pass, but that never went well. So this time around, I just left it as my regular defense that I've been running the whole season, and it seemed to work because I finally got a win against him. I was frankly shocked about.
Well, with my Kansas team, I'm half and half. I was happy how we did, but I felt like my team was off. Now I look back at the points I scored and the points I gave up. I gave up more points this year, about 32 more points, and I scored 5 more points more this season than I did last. So it's kind of here and there. I'm upset because I played around. I try to be cute when I played Houston, week 14, and I played around my my game plan to do something. And as you see, he put a whooping on me.
Yes, he did.
38-7. That kicked me out of winning that division because me and Mech tied. And he won because we lost to the same teams. However, by .5, he played another team that was a little stronger than one of the teams I played.
Well, what happened in the last game of the season? You were at home against Arizona, and he stomped you.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Is that all running he did on you?
Yeah. Oh, his team's good. He played us well. And so
I don't know. I held him 6 at his house, so he ain't that good. Just kidding.
He's good against us. And so we went into the playoffs against Texas, which I was like, don't know which way this is going to go. And we won, I think, at the end of overtime.
Yeah.
At the end of overtime. McConnell was able to drive down the field and score a touchdown to tie it, I think, with a couple of minutes left in the game. We go into overtime, and we take it all the way to the end. And
Yep.
that's how we were able to get out of there with a win. It was a tough game. And then we went into Arizona, and Arizona jumped out on us, put up 31 points on us, and then the second half, he didn't score any points, and then we tried to drive. And again, the last 2 minutes of the game, McConnell goes down. We're down there to get ready to maybe tie up the game. He throws an interception, and the game is over. And that's how we lost to Arizona.
Yeah, he ran all over you those 2 games. Almost 200 in that last game of the season, at 246 in that playoff game. Wow.
So I
That's
saw
pretty
that, and I
impressive.
said I'm going to work on my game plan because I'm going to be facing him twice a year, and he's going to try to do that same game plan against
Well,
me.
all I did was run cover 1 buzz on every single play. For our 1st and 10 and the shorts, and then the longs, I would usually just run cover 2. But yeah, safety in the box every fucking play for those guys, man.
So it was a hit or miss for me. I felt like something was off for our team because we did much better in total offense and total defense last season than we did this season. We were 14 when we were, I believe, 4 last season on defense, and on offense we were 17, and I think we were 5 last season. So big jump.
Yeah,
In a backward sense.
Yeah, that was something a little off, huh?
Yeah. So got to turn things around. And like Kodos is saying, and you too, Brother Grimm, I need receivers as well. So we're all going after wide receivers.
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking you had better than you do.
I do not, as you see in my team. I have Stanley, Garcia, who's old, and Cadwell. So Garcia is going to be leaving us. Covey has barely the endurance. Cadwell, his route running's low. And Garcia, He is 34. I got him for maybe one more season, maybe one more after that. That's where we are with them.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think of the two quarterbacks that were drafted, by the way?
I wish they were in the other conference.
I know. I brought that up. We're going to be facing these guys.
I'm not sure about that Blitnikoff guy, though, yet. He's a little short for my liking.
They say
Is that the one that's
height doesn't matter, by the way, for the quarterbacks.
I think it does. I've seen too many short people in different leagues just not do well, even though they're 80 rated.
Really?
Yeah, I think height affects how many batted balls you have at the line of scrimmage as well.
Yep. If you can't see over your offensive lineman, you know.
Is Bolitnikoff the one that Moontown took?
No.
Iowa.
Who is going to be in our division.
Okay.
My division, I meant.
Moontown took the better one, I believe. The Roberto Fredrickson.
Let me see something. Where is let's look at Livingston. Let's take this guy. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm still going to take him over the two new guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he looks most comparable to Fredrickson.
Yes, he does.
Around the same height, weight, bars, except for that long pass, but should be interesting guys, both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see how
Yeah,
it
good
comes
year
out.
to have a top 2 pick.
What's that?
It was a good year to have a top 2 pick. Like sometimes you get a high pick and then there's no QBs there.
Yep.
Now, going back into your division, Kodos, you have Harlem, which I think is up and coming. I was shocked that Rochester fell like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there because he was the one who was kind of nipping at my heels in previous seasons.
Yeah, I think
Harlem definitely jumped past him this year.
I think we discussed that before with Rob. It's always about time, and he's a very, very busy man. So, you know, if he didn't have time to export every game or really dig into his team this year, he's going to fall behind, even with a great quarterback, you know?
Yeah. That's one good thing for me is I pretty much get an export in every single time.
Yep, me too.
And I'm only in the IHOF, so I don't have to spread myself thin on other leagues.
Yeah, it is hard to do multiple leagues. For me, it's 2, no more than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm running as well.
Yeah, I don't think I could handle a second league. I spent too long making little decisions. I don't want to have to do that for 2 different teams.
Yep.
Is it because of you don't? And here's a question, because someone else told me this. They can't get into the other players of the second team that they picked because they invested too much time in the first team.
Well, that's kind of how I feel with Tennessee. I mean, I try to export every day, and the schedule's not like it's a little weirder. It's like every other day, and sometimes there's a midweek, and sometimes you got to request it, and so I'm just not as into the guys on that team as I am to the guys on Williamsburg, you know. But Williamsburg this is my first multiplayer league that I've ever been in, so I'm just kind of attached to the team now, you know.
Yeah, that's how I am with the Lake Monsters. I was the original owner for them when IHOF started, and it's different. Like when I was briefly a GM for Paris, I just didn't feel the same connection to the team that I do when it's the Lake Monsters, which, you know, it seems kind of silly, really, but
no, I agree.
How about you, Howie?
I'm in 4 leagues, and it's incredibly difficult to keep track of more than 2, to be honest. You know, IHOF's the one that is this. I'm just saying this. You know, IHOF was my first multiplayer league, and the fact that it sims every single day, it forces me. It doesn't force me, but I'm on every single day, looking at the team, making decisions, working on game plans. So it's easy and it's consistent, and it's one thing you can count on every single day, except for Sundays. There's a file. There's one other league that I play in, Red Zone's TFL, that I try to get an export in every single day that there's an export. But like Grim says, it's tough because it's not every single day. It's every other day. So, you miss one export and it's tough to remain competitive. It's, you try and you try and you try, but you miss an export and it's rough. And then I've got two other leagues that I'm in that, I pretty much use it now just for toying with game plans and to work on drafting skills and evaluation stuff. So, I'm more vested in it during the off seasons than I am so much for the in season, where I'll go in every single week and I'll Rex a game plan, or I'll cobble together an offensive game plan and just set it and forget it, and then go back at the end of the week and just dig through and see what worked and see what didn't work, and kind of use all that information to come back in to really work with the IHOF.
Makes sense. And listen, I agree with you. There was someone who said, was it Red Zone? He was in 7, and I'm like,
yeah, he said he had to cut those down.
7.
Yeah, that is way too much. At least for me.
Going back into this thing, in your conference, by the way, kudos. You have T-Zac, who's always doing his thing. Is going to be a danger all the time. But then everyone else in his division, San Antonio, Atlanta, Houston, they just all fell by the wayside. Wasn't a good season for them.
Nope.
Snapfinger, got to give him a hand. He turned his team around. He's got 2 first-round picks this season as well to go with that roster that he just built. So it's going to be interesting to see how he pans out this season.
Yeah, that was nice to see his team do well this year.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't pull an elf and go 5-11 next year. I think Bordeaux went 4-12 this year after going 12-4 last year.
Yes,
that's crazy.
It is
crazy talk.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating when it's basically the same team and the same game plan.
Yeah, exactly.
But different results.
That's when people pull out their hair and they're saying that it's the same team. Why is it any different?
Yeah,
I wonder how much of how much of a hit his players took. If you got a lot of regression, because that can kill you. I was in the same boat a few seasons ago where I went from like a 10-6 playoff team. I went 3 and whatever, 4 and whatever, and ended up with the number 3 pick. And it was the exact same team, but I could pinpoint it. It was my defense aged out. I had linebackers that took big hits. I had defensive backs that took big hits, and it showed in the results.
Yeah, kind of glancing, it doesn't. Walchek didn't take a hit this year. His quarterback doesn't look like he took a whole lot of big hits because he's got a lot of 70s and 60s and 80 kicker. And
here's my question, going to what Howie said. Howie, you think it can also be, when they do that combine change, where your combine scores increase or decrease?
It could be.
I thought someone was explaining that in the forum, and it basically those combines just reflected how they did the year before. I thought that's how that was supposed to.
I read that same thing, and the thing is, I had a player who did very well, but yet the combine scores went down. So I'm on the fence about that. I don't get it. I'm not getting my head around it so much. And you asked this question, Grim, how does it affect my players?
At this point, I don't even really pay attention to it. I can't really figure it out. And sure, it's kind of neat to look at and your combines aren't as good as they were last year, but your stats didn't change or they go up or something, It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes I'll use it if during the cut down stage, if there's a couple guys who I'm kind of equal on, if one of them had a big drop according to that, that'll tip them in favor of getting cut.
Oh, I wanted to bring up something, by the way. It was on T-Zac's team really quick. Billy Russell is hitting the free agency market, fellas. So,
I think he's a guy who has no value except for he's
T-Zac. Yeah, I was going to say close to the same thing.
I was waiting for someone to say that.
Yeah,
What's he asking for a contract?
It's got to be something crazy.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
48 million.
Yeah.
60 million, 65 million, and 72. He wants $246 million on a 4-year contract.
Yeah, I don't think he gets signed until late free agency then.
Yeah, and the thing is, T-Zac could just pick some other bum up in the draft and he'll dominate the league and be the MVP.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's like one of those I don't understand how he's doing this.
Augusta fell, and so I know he's not happy with his team. Matt's the Merchant Man.
Yeah, shout out. I'm so happy to see him back in, and hopefully he can keep it up next year because he's just, when I first came into the league, he was like one of the premier players, just premier. And just over the last 10 seasons, he just really hasn't been able to get his shit together, and it's just sucked watching. I mean, it's such a legendary team, and to watch him struggle like that for so long. So hopefully this turns the corner for him.
He picked up Evan Drake from on a trade that changed his team.
And that might have been the problem, is screwing around with Ernest Ashley so long,
Yeah, getting rid of Ashley was a plus for him.
Yep.
Because he's got those 2 stud wide receivers. So he needed a quarterback desperately. So, yes, hats off to him.
And he grabbed him from Colorado, because Pizer kept saying he couldn't figure him out.
Mm-hmm. How much did he pay for him, do you know?
For a trade. I can't remember. It might have involved the first. Let's see if I can find that.
I'm just going to say I'm perusing the forum here. Let me go see if I can find it.
Oh, you know what it can tell me? And
there it is.
You found it?
Yeah. 2105 first. So 1 first round pick.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm really happy for him and to see him. Hopefully, like I said, this turns him the corner and he's a perennial playoff team. So I'm going to be right back, gentlemen.
Good. He's got him for 4 more seasons, maybe 5. Not bad. And maybe it'll help him get to the bowl.
I'm going to be curious to see how quickly Gothenburg could get back up to the top. I feel like Julio is one of the premier GMs in the league, really.
He is. He turned around his team because they were losing in the very beginning, and then he turned them around. Week 13, he just went on a winning spree.
Yeah. That was definitely, not so much the last couple seasons, but the few seasons before that, that was one of the teams I really worried about when I had to face them.
Let's see. In 2102, he was 10-6. 2101, he was 16-0. I remember that one.
Yeah.
21.
It just seemed like he really had things rolling pretty well for a while. And then Pierce got old.
Yeah, he knows how to put together his team. He got rid of his quarterback, and who's his quarterback now? Let's see. Why am I blanking here?
I got Trey.
Trey Henson.
Seems like people have had a hard time getting the performance out of Henson that you would expect with his ratings.
What's his name mentioned something. Who was it?
Albion?
Ben mentioned it. And it had to do with the interceptions. That the avoid interceptions, that hidden value knocks down your rating. So someone who has high bars but has a low rating could be the interception avoidance.
Interesting.
But yeah, he's a 77 on average quarterback passing rating.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done.
Well, he's going to be looking for a new quarterback because I think he has one more season with him. He's 36 now. He'll play next season. So, who's this guy? Nope, Ray Owens. And then we got the new guy, Wei. Was it Wei T? 34.
Wei T something.
Yeah, he took over Paris. So I'd like to see how that team gets turned around as well.
Yeah, we don't get too many new owners these days.
Nope, none at all. Howie.
Yes, sir.
What are you going to do to turn around your team? What are you looking for in the draft?
I'm looking for some secondary players.
Round pick, so
I want to shore up the secondary a little bit. Like we talked about last time, most of those free agents that I signed didn't pan out very well for me. So I want to find a cornerback that I can use. It might have a little bit more endurance than the rest of the guys. I know.
Yeah,
Let's take a look
low
at
endurance players.
Yeah, well, that's my entire secondary. Hastings, he's a role player. Lazarnik, he's a role. I mean, they're all role players, but I want to find somebody who I can have out there for 3 or 4 different sets and not need to worry about getting that dreaded concern message.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys put a lot of weight on endurance?
It depends upon the position for me. If it's a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman, not so much, because I think you can hide defensive linemen on the defensive side a lot better than you can hide a cornerback or a wide receiver or a running back. I made the mistake of drafting a zero endurance running back who had stud bars. Like he should have been a consistent 1,500 yard a season running back.
Yep.
And
can't stay on the field.
Yeah, couldn't. Luke Longlist Dunlap. I couldn't get 8 carries a game out of him.
No.
I'd put him in for one. I'd put him in for one set on the 113, and he'd be my third down back because his route running and his third down catching were maxed out. So I was like, all right, I'll keep him in for third downs, and I'll put him in the 113, and those will be the 2 sets that he gets, and he'd get 8 carries a game. And then I'd switch him to the 1-2-2, and he'd get 8 carries a game. And then I took him out of the 1-2-2 and put him into the 2-1-2, and he'd get 8 carries a game. Like he couldn't stay on the field.
Wow.
It was that is by far in my 2 years playing this game. That's been my biggest frustration is just that guy right there. He should have been so much better, but zero endurance in that. No, couldn't do it.
So, but do you feel like you're going to be blowing up your team and just starting from scratch?
No, I don't. I want to avoid at all costs blowing up my team, but at the same time, I don't want to throw a boatload of money to keep players around that, are in the twilight of their career. My tight end, Preston Bronson, his contract's coming due. He wants more money than I really want to pay him for his skill set. But the cohesion in the passing game, so he might get the money. He's not the best route runner, but he's got some good he's got some good run blocking skills, but he can catch the ball across the middle. So I don't know. I want to avoid blowing my team up, but at the same time, if I'm going to make a change and go a different direction, this is the time to do it because I've got a whole bunch of spots opening up, and I'll have a lot of money next season in free agency to splash if I decided to go that way. I think I'm going to have $245 million as accounted for next year. So that's a pretty good chunk of change to rebuild the team if you're going to rebuild the team.
Yeah, it is. I see it right here. How about you, Grim? What do you need? What do you need to take your team to the next level?
Well, I just need to do what I always do and not give up. That's the thing with, like a guy like Howie or like Jugs, seeing their records fall. I'm like, these fuckers are still going to make the playoffs. So they're going to show up every day. They're going to try to figure it out. They're going to export. I kind of felt the same way about Julio too, towards the end of the season. I'm like, no, that guy's he's going to win out and try to get this, and he did. 10-6. Didn't even make the playoffs, did he?
No, he just missed it.
Just missed.
But just looking at his record back then, I'm like, he's going to fight. Julio's just going to try to make this work and shit. But there's not really, I don't have a whole lot going on my team. I'm going to need another wide receiver because Andre Gibson went to free agency. He stunk for me anyway, so maybe not such a big deal. I need a tight end. I definitely need a running back. I got to try to re-sign Liam Diaz, even though he's probably going to, go down next year because it'll be
my guy.
Liam.
Isn't he on my team? No,
he might.
It sounded familiar. Go ahead, continue.
Just trying to see where he's from now. He piqued my interest.
No, he was in Oakland.
Oakland, okay.
You made great use of him in the past.
Yes, out of the backfield, and that's what I love. I love passing to halfbacks. He did great in that. And I finally figured out a game plan to get him the fucking ball. That took a while. But my O-line, I got a couple. My centers are getting old, so I'm going to have to think about replacing them. I drafted that Burt Lamb last year, and he just didn't pan out as well as I thought he might. I need a quarterback, our cornerback, and I definitely need a safety because the safeties are getting old and garbagey, and so yeah, that's about it. But what do you guys think about Quick and Jops this year?
Who?
Chesapeake and Brooklyn.
Oh,
you think Quick's going to give up on Willie Monroe?
I think he's frustrated with him because he gives him up and down games. That's what I think. Let's go to Quick for a minute.
Well, that Percy Humphreys played great.
How much does he owe him? If he drops him, he's only going to be out $11 million. So he might as well keep him.
Yeah. I just think he keeps him and not starts him. And he goes with Humphreys because I think Humphreys has the chemistry fit.
What do you think? You think he starts him next year as a starter, Willie Monroe? You guys?
I think I'll go with Humphreys again.
Yeah.
We had a game against him and he was pretty good.
Percy Humphreys. He threw 375 yards on me in the last game of the season.
Let's see here. Yeah, you might be right. That means Willie Monroe might go in a block. Anyone want him?
Maybe Zach.
I was going to say.
I don't want him.
He would make it work somehow.
I look at those. I look at the bars below, starting with accuracy and going down, and I'm like, God, that's a nice bar set.
Yes.
But I don't know if I could make that work. I don't know.
Well, I know Quick says not to throw screen passes with him, so.
Yep. Which would work for me. I don't throw a lot of screen passes. I prefer rollout quarterbacks. He's a rollout quarterback. Like, looking at him, he's a guy that I could see on Texas, but I don't know. I don't know if I could make anything work with that.
Yeah, agreed.
And then you have Brooklyn, which I'm shocked what happened to them.
I think, man, he had some injuries. His defense didn't scare me this year. Brooklyn defense every season scares the fuck out of me every time I got to play him. But I think he lost the strong safety, Heath Mueller, for the last 7 games of the season. And, man, if that's not the heart of his defense, dude, I don't know what is. And that sucks.
Yeah, that's tough.
That was a tough loss for him, because if you look at the rest of the defense, they still look okay. Lamar Drake, Efrain Norris, Skip Adderley, Skip Gable. But that Heath Mueller loss, I think, really hurt him.
Let's look at his games.
They're bad, especially the ones at the end.
Yeah. Wow. He went 1, 2, 3, 4.
Toronto
5,
went to
6, 7. He went 7 games losing streak.
And I think that home loss to Toronto, 62-6, kind of snapped him, and maybe he just gave up after that. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm done." Because I probably would have done the same thing. 62-6. I quit.
That's demoralizing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just one of those games where everything goes your way.
It's worse if you put time into a game plan, and that's what happens.
Yeah, look at that. Well, and there you have it. Your second offensive series in that. One for 93 yards. Guessing that was to fucking Lynch, wasn't it?
Man.
Yep, Jeremy Lynch, 88-yard pass from Livingston. Yep, man.
I'm hoping I could get a couple more seasons out of Lynch.
What is he, 31?
Lynch for Toronto?
Yeah.
What does he play? What position? Oh, I found him.
Flanker.
He's 33. So,
Yeah,
if you want him a couple more years, you're going to have to re-sign him and hope he doesn't retire anyway, so you lose that money.
Yeah, no, I've already offered him what he's asking for.
What's he asking for?
Is he cheaper?
Let me take a look.
You're paying him $62 million this year.
Yeah, I think it ended up being $70 million.
Oh, shit.
On the reading.
He wanted more?
Wow.
Usually when I get that old...
You wanted a $25 million bonus. So, yeah, it'd be $70 million this year and then $43 million next year. Which I was like, that's only $8 million over what I'm already paying him.
Which isn't terrible.
That's true.
Like I really am kind of looking at this as the last hurrah for this incarnation of the team, and then I'm going to have to, especially on defense, I got to start replacing younger players and cheaper players.
We talked about this last time, Grim and myself. I think it was 2 shows back where we were saying, don't blow up the team, just plug and play. Plug and play. And just fill in whatever you have and plug and play, and just build it from there.
Yeah.
That way you don't drop like a rock.
Definitely not going to totally blow up, but I do need to replace some older guys.
Yeah, but I always have an old team. I think I might have been the oldest team in the league again this year, especially last season. I signed Dirt Beaver. I'm like, fucking welcome to the team. I've admired you your whole career. Let's see if we could do something with you. And he came in and he did pretty damn well. Got him a ring, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But my team is just filled with old players.
It's going to be interesting to see Motown with the new quarterback and Iowa with their new quarterback. Well, Iowa's new quarterback, I think he's 1 or 2% developed. Am I correct on that? Let's look at that. The new rookie.
Yeah, and he just needs to throw him in regardless.
So he'll be out for 3 seasons before he starts showing anything. And then Motown, his is 47%.
So yeah,
so Texas, Matt, Howie, that's your division.
That it is.
So he's got no one to say. Moontown's got a decent team. He's got a great running back. We can, which you want to have a great running back when you have a rookie quarterback in there. Wide receivers maybe a little something to be desired, but he's got a good O-line, good D-line. Just needs linebackers and secondary, and he's off, I think. But how long has he had the team now? SFL's been there for a while. Yeah, since '94, and hasn't done anything yet, really.
No.
I see his cohesion. It's right here. Very good for his passing and all that. So he's not that bad. Paris has a way to go. They're at the bottom.
Oh, cohesion.
Yes.
Oh God, I hit 100 with my passing cohesion.
Yes, you.
Oh
did.
yeah, you did. I knew that all season long.
Holy shit!
Yes, you did.
I think you've been 100 for a couple seasons now. Maybe.
No, I wasn't. I think I was like in the 80s last season, the season before. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm shocked with Bardot's record when Bardot's cohesion is at the top. Right underneath Texas.
Yep.
Yeah, Czech's been there forever. Oh, Capital City was 100 last season. They were above you, but you passed them this year. So,
But it's going to be interesting watching these new quarterbacks. I like seeing rookie quarterbacks take the leap. And
me too.
And see where they go. Where do they fall? It's funny, when I got McConnell, which McConnell's no Livingston, I got in the same draft as you, Kodos. And so what I said to myself, let's match up and see how my quarterback stands against your quarterback. Of course, your quarterback is head and shoulders better than mine, but he stayed in there.
Oh, man, he's still.
Yeah, no, you've been able to get some pretty
60%.
good production out of him.
You are.
McDonald.
That's. Could you imagine a quarterback on my team throwing 60%? Freeman was like 50.5% this year. He was fucking terrible. But the touchdowns to interceptions, I mean, he threw touchdowns all over the place. But if I could get a guy that throws 62%, I would win the championship every year.
Yeah, he's been good for me so far.
And that's with having no receivers.
Yes.
Imagine what he does if he gets a receiver.
I'm working
No
on that
short
right
passing
now.
bar.
I'm actually working on that right now.
Oh, you're going to try to trade for trading up?
I'm trying to work it, but I'm meeting resistance, we shall say.
I'm sure. But there's 13, so where do you pick? Oh, you don't have a first this year, do you?
I do not.
Son of a bitch.
Yes, I know.
Damn. Well, I may as well.
Not to have that.
Yeah, I may as well not have a first. I picked 32, and there's not going to be a wide receiver left there. So,
Well, you can always mortgage the farm and do what Codis did and just say, hey, you can have my next 3 first rounds. And let me
yeah,
move
but
up.
I don't have the team that Toronto had back then. Everybody understood the trade. It's like, well, I think some people are going, damn, that's a lot. And I'm like, no, go look at the guy's roster. He's built to win now. This rookie quarterback's going to come in here and just have a team, have weapons, have shit to, And
But for argument's sake, though, let's say he didn't have that team in place. Is it worth blowing up your draft for 4 years to get a quarterback like Livingston? Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know if I would have done it if I don't have a team to back it up.
Go ahead, Howie, and then I'll talk after you.
I mean, I think that Kodo said he's a generational player. Like, even if you're not built to build now, you make that trade, you get that player, and then you build around him. And it might take you 4 or 5 years to get a team that competes, but you'll get there. I don't see a receiver in this game that you couldn't put on the field and be successful with that quarterback as long as his route running's not 0.
I agree with Howie on this. Because if Kodos doesn't do well in the draft, like he says, he does better in free agency or trading. And so he'll build his team through free agency and whatever he can get out of the draft. But mostly it's going to be free agency and in trades. So that's where he's going to build his team. So having that quarterback, the draft really is secondary, or I should say tertiary.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm not
makes-
disagreeing.
He's made some pretty marginal players that, like, look at the tight ends production that I've had the last few years with tight ends who are hobos.
Yeah,
Like,
look at that
had
Joshua
another
Harden.
1,000-yard.
No, don't you call Joshua Harden a hobo. Don't call him a hobo.
Well, he's a hobo at this stage in his career.
His bars haven't changed any. His bars are the exact same when I drafted him. And I was
Okay.
That
I
route
was
running
so
helps.
I was so upset when I didn't re-sign him. He re-signed with I think it was San Antonio. Was they the
San
ones that
Antonio
signed him
got
away
him.
from me?
Yeah.
and he ninja'd me. Like I offered him a low salary, high bonus, and I think he came in like $500,000 more on the bonus or something, not $50,000 more on the bonus.
He got him for $6 million more than you, brother. 20,
was it that much?
He offered 3 years, 26, and you offered 3 years, 20.
$6 million. Okay.
But then San Antonio fucking released him the next year.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You guys, Toronto got him.
Wow, 10 touchdowns for this guy, over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I was shocked he did that because the season before he really didn't do much, but we still had Harris and Gerhard on the team, so he was getting all the targets. But once he retired, Harden really stepped up. I was pleasantly surprised.
I can't wait for the free agency to begin.
There's some good guys in there.
Yes, there is. Very good guys. Where is this? Here we go.
Could pretty much count on Hanley to pick back up the guys that he dropped in there.
I like this cornerback right here.
Roderick? Henson? I would play him at safety, man.
Free safety, correct?
Yeah. No, well, I'm a man guy, so I don't have any bump and run guys on my team. Haven't for a long time. But yeah, that's a safety to me. Absolutely free safety. But I can almost guarantee you that Hanley is re-signing him, so.
Oh, yes.
Because, I mean, how much cap space does Hanley have right now?
See, I can't get, like, you guys are good with running backs. I can't get a running back to work on my team. So, spending a lot of money getting a top-end running back for me, it doesn't pay.
Nah, I'd try it. I like running
Richardson,
backs.
wow, he wants $35
Yeah,
million.
I was looking at him, and then I saw his demands, and I was like, no, I can't do that.
For me, running backs are a dime a dozen for my offense. For other offense like Jugs, these guys are like a top quarterback for him.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah, Richardson wants a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I can't afford that. That'd be half my cap.
Yeah, I had him on my list of guys to pursue, and then I saw his demands. I was like, well, I'll just remove him from the list.
Yeah, no, and he's a chem fit for me too. Fuck.
Yeah, me too.
How do you figure that out, by the way?
Well, if you go into like if you're in the scouting recommendations for the free agency, anybody that's a chem fit will be green.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
now I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what that
Or
means.
you have the chem tool you could use too.
Yep. See, and I was thinking about maybe trying to get Martin Mills back, but he wants a fuck ton of money too, and he can't really catch. 24 in the first year? Ugh.
Yeah, he's another guy I looked at and decided I couldn't do. Well, he was going to be
Well, and here's the
he was
shitty
going to
thing.
mess up my leadership too.
Here's the shitty thing, brother. I pretty much know now that on offense, every fucking blue guy I have to compete with you for.
Yeah,
That's why I can go through here and like, okay, what about Isaac Delgado? You looking at him too? I mean, maybe a 1 year.
I can't tell you how many times in the draft
1 year guy
I've been looking at someone and then you nab them before me. You and Ben.
Yes.
That's the fun part about multiplayer. Is everyone's
Yes.
going after players. You couldn't get that in single player. You can pick up anybody in single player.
Well, I'm just glad Iowa dropped the chemistry stuff too. I was just like, when Coyote Vice had Iowa, I was like, fuck, got to compete with players just to, with him all the freaking time. So I'm paying attention to who's doing what colors where.
Like everyone's trying to stay out of Quick's lane, so we all end up in purple.
No, and I ain't trying to. I remember early on when I decided to go chemistry. So my defense is red and my secondary is green. And I'm like, I should just switch that. And I'm like, no, Quick uses green secondary. So I'm going to stay green and fuck with him my entire career here. And so far it's worked out. But he still has better secondary than I do. So
I found it's easier for me to just everyone's blue or they're purple to me, but on both sides. So that just makes it easier for me to keep on track of the guys I want.
It's too much for me to think about. Don't worry about it, fellas. I won't get into that chemistry thing.
Isn't it weird how everyone sees these? Well, it's only for me. It's blue. Everyone. I've heard so many people call it purple. I'm like, do we really see colors that differently? This is blue.
Yeah, to me, it's clearly purple.
This is
and
blue.
To me, it is clearly blue.
This is blue to me as well.
Yeah. See,
this guy right here, Bone.
Are you talking on Ben's pages? That's what I'm going off of.
Yeah, I'm talking about the website, Clay. If you go in there and look at that.
Yeah,
Okay.
like to me, that's clearly purple.
So go over the chemistry search.
Got it.
That's
purple.
That's blue.
That's purple.
That's not blue.
Yeah, that's blue to me.
It's purple for me. It's purple.
Howie, what do
a
you
light
say?
green, a pinkish, and a yellow. That's what I see.
I see blue, but I'm
it's a light
colorblind,
purple,
so
but it's purple.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'm fucking colorblind. That could be it. I don't know. I'm seeing it's a light red, so kind of pinkish, and I got a green and a yellow.
Oh, so you guys go here, look at the color, and pick players based upon the color? In
Yeah,
so many
well-
words?
Well, if you want to do a chemistry search, I mean, this is a great fucking tool for it. You can see who is on other people's teams. If you do include players who are under contract, let's say you need a new leader, you can go through them and that's, remember when you traded me that Mueller guy, that wide receiver,
Yes.
Clay?
Yes.
I only traded for him and gave you what you wanted because he was going to be a leader on my team. So many starts later, I can't get him to be leader yet, but I'm still working on it. So yeah, but that's it.
On the chemistry page, I just have all the purple ones checked off, and so it just shows me purple guys.
Yep.
I got it. Okay.
Yep. You pick your positions you want. You pick so if I'm looking for offensive linemen, I'll click center, guard, tackle, include players who are under contract, and all three of those blue ones, you click submit chemistry search, and boom, it's just going to pop up all the blue guys in the league.
That's great to have it here. I wish they had that in the game.
Me too, because I'm trying to do a chemistry build over in RZB as well, and this tool is not available, so it's just a lot harder because I don't feel like fucking digging,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it'd be a much worse chore in a non-Ben league.
Yep. I absolutely agree.
That's something new to learn. But again, I'm not going to get into the chemistry thing. I'm just going to pick
Good.
players that I see that I think is going to help my team.
Is RZ getting on at all?
I don't think he is.
No?
Yeah, he would have texted me.
All right. That sucks. I always love talking to that guy.
I know. He's a good guy, Red Zone.
I also enjoy chatting with them.
Yeah. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Howie, there's some quarterbacks in the free agency market that you might be interested in.
I'm gonna roll with Derek once Vital's done, I think.
Oh, the guy who did well for you?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
I don't know. He's he's played a couple of games. He's got a 91 rating overall. He's thrown 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, he played well against us when we played him.
Yeah.
How do you say that name? Bone line?
Bone line. Yeah.
There's some jokes.
Whatever.
Yeah, what did he do against us? Hold on for a minute. Let's see. Here we go. He was 21 of 28, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns. 75% completed his passes against us. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Passing rate of 127.6.
The only thing that I don't like is he's got a conflict with Norm Shaver, my starting tailback. They don't get along very well.
Really? That's not good. How much does that really hurt your team?
I don't know.
All I know is I don't tolerate it on my team.
You completely take him off?
Yeah, they get the boot. I don't want any conflicts.
I like to know if Shaver, when he was playing, did he decrease in production?
I don't know. Let's take a look. Pull it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shaver's
It
the
doesn't
kind of
look
guy
like
you'd
it to
love
me.
to have on your team.
What was that, Kodos? I'm sorry.
Shaver's the kind of guy you would love to have on your team. Like I haven't had a running back like that. I would love to have one.
And I'll tell you what, he is affordable. Like his contract demands are not crazy.
Yeah.
I think I'm paying him a $10 million salary plus bonus for the next 3 years.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's good. I would take that in a heartbeat.
How'd you get him, by the way? Did you get him in a draft?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
That's all he's asking for, and you picked him number 9?
Yep.
Wow. And
But he
had like
also
an agent who's not a hard negotiator.
let's look at that.
Who you guys talking about?
Very low. Shaver. He got picked 1-9 in the draft. Look what he's only asking for. Look what he's being paid only. He's not demanding the $35 million that what's his name was demanding.
Another one of those.
And look at his numbers.
and he didn't start for me for the first 2 or 3 years of his career.
That's how you got him so cheap.
He was a solid number 2 behind Lawrence Robledo. He was he would be in the 104 set. He would be in my 122 set. I'd have him out in the slot in the 5 receiver set, and so
that's
he
how
didn't
you got him so cheap.
Yep.
Did you guys listen to Quick and Jamie's last chat about how they won the RZB Bowl and working together?
Yeah. Yes.
So there was one guy they mentioned, I can't remember who it was, but they're like, yeah, we'll probably bench him the the third year of his contract, so we'll get him cheap for 4 years. I'm
yes, I heard that.
I could see that being a fucking strategy. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a standard quicksand strategy.
Yep. But see, look at Norm Shaver, though, and his endurance.
Hold on, let me get him back up again.
Sorry, he's got none.
Yes.
31, and so why couldn't your other running back do that? Did he have 0-0?
My other running back was 0. He literally had 0 endurance.
All right, so you can get away with 31 then.
Right, but I don't use Norm Shaver as my third down back. I've got a better receiving back for third downs.
I can't imagine that with that 99 route running.
Yeah, but look at his third down receiving.
Oh, it's
terrible. Right? Look at them. Look at Cherney, and he's dropped a little bit. But Philip Cherney was an undrafted free agent that I picked up just for his route running and his third down receiving.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's my third down back, so I can keep Shaver in as many formations as I really want to. If I don't put him in the third down, I have him at the end of last season. He was in the 1-1-3, the 1-2-2, and the 2-1-2. So the big 3, and I didn't get any warnings for him.
No, and Cherney's got that special teams value too. Wow.
Yep.
20 tackles, 22 last year. Nice.
He's a gamer.
Absolutely. Seeing that elusiveness too. That means you can throw screen. I had a guy that had years ago, I can't remember his name, but he had super high elusiveness, and I kept throwing him screen passes, and he kept tending to do well. So that kind of made me start thinking, well, maybe elusiveness is good for screen passes.
That's what I heard
running,
as well.
But not running.
Yeah, not good for running.
Not good for running. You don't want it.
That's
you don't
one
want
of the few things I know is I don't want a high elusiveness back because you get so many runs for loss.
Mm-hmm. Too many because they tend to get in that hole and dink around too long.
But isn't that fun about the game that you'll notice something like that and you're like, I just figured out something now. And it helps you now game plan better.
Yeah, and I still I haven't sold out on that whole thing yet. I haven't tried it since I had that one guy, but maybe I'll look into that again.
Yeah, good running back. Howie.
Yeah, he's and he took a big a big ratings hit too. I had him scouted to be much better than he turned out. So I was, to be honest, really disappointed with that pick for the first couple of seasons. And then I was like, yeah, I'll roll with it, see how he does. And then he starts getting, 4.5 yards a carry, 5 yards a carry, 5.25 yards a carry. And then at one point I was just like, you know what? Robledo's getting older. He's not as explosive. So I made the switch, and I was happy that I did. I mean, he not last year, but the year before last, he got the rushing title. And I think if he didn't miss as many games as he did, I think he had a chance of getting it again, last season. What did he miss? Did he miss 3 games, 4 games?
Well, he played all 16, and he started 15.
Mm-hmm.
So you may have played him injured.
Yeah, no, that's right. He was questionable, and I took him out and from some formations, just kept him in as a wide receiver in the 0-0-5 set.
He gave you 9 touchdowns on the ground, and then receiving. Yep. What are you doing receiving?
I don't throw to him very much.
He gave you 2 receiving.
Yeah.
So altogether, you got 11 off of him, and he gave you about 1,600 all-purpose yards. Not bad. And all you're paying him is $7 million, $8 million.
Yep.
So that's weird. So I remember in the forum earlier today, someone was it was Kodos asking how a holdout guy that you didn't re-sign is being allowed to. So I got the same thing with Andre Gibson. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I thought it wouldn't even let me submit a thing, but it did.
Nope, I don't get the due to past injustices, and I didn't. He held out, and I didn't re-sign him. Maybe. So, no, because Larkin just held out last year.
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe
I never made an offer to him.
Yep.
Because he was asking more than I was willing to pay.
Yeah, and I was going to say maybe the amount of years it happens, because 2 years ago Andre Gibson held out. I'm like, no, you got 2 years left in your deal, fucker. You're going to play.
Are you running with Freeman, Grim?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Freeman. I don't know what he wants to. Well, this is last year. Maybe he'll play out his contract. He wants $65 million and 66, and he's making 19 this year. So he's probably going to free agency next year. But as far as some of that goes too, I've also kind of noticed that. I don't know if it's a thing, but people in the last years of their contract before they go to free agency, they tend to play a little bit better.
Yeah, contract year.
Yep, contract year. So I'll probably let him just go and then see how he does, and then try to bid on him again the year after. So, but unless anyone wants to drop, 2 firsts on a 32-year-old Cereal Bowl winning quarterback, the 2104 Cereal Bowl. Did you guys notice that it was called that? I guess I never even noticed that shit.
I never noticed that. It's called a Cereal Bowl?
Yeah, if you look at the box score, it'll say 2104 Cereal Bowl. I just noticed that when I was looking at it yesterday. I'm like, this is called the Cereal Bowl? Sweet. Cool. No pun intended.
Wait. Okay, where does it say that?
So let me get to it here. Open up the box score.
Oh,
right on top. Yeah, okay, the box score right on top.
Oh, yeah.
2104 Cereal Bowl.
1 yard.
So the other question I have too, Kodos, is how did I get this to be a home game for me?
Yeah, I was wondering that myself.
So I was a 6th seed this year.
Well, but if the game is coded to follow the way that the NFL actually does it, it's not about seeding, it's about conference. So it'll change. So check out last year. So it was last year's bowl game was the AOC home.
Oh, I don't. Guess we'll find out.
Can you check? Yeah, check it out. Freeman did well in the bowl.
Oh, dude, he was fucking fantastic.
Yes, he was.
He was fantastic in the playoffs. The first game, he threw 3 interceptions, and then he only had 5 for the whole playoffs. So, yeah, I was just pleasantly... He just really came on, and sometimes this is why I try to get these veterans. I'm kind of trying to be like New Englandy, like bring in these old guys that haven't done shit. They've been great players. Get them on your team. Let's go see if we can do something, you know? Damn, you held him to...
Livingston was awesome as well. Yards per attempt, 10.35. Not bad.
Yeah, I can't really blame him for the loss.
No.
You're right, Howie. T-Zac did have home last year.
So next...
See, I did not know that. Good information.
There was, I think, a sack you took.
And Antonio Owens.
Yeah, that was big.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, where he fumbled too, but we recovered it at least.
Yes, that was big.
No, T-Zac said it in the forum chat. He's like, that is why you pay a defensive end that much money.
Mm-hmm.
And Freeman, I hate, or not Freeman, Antonio Owens. I hate when they do that. You re-sign him to this giant fucking contract, and they come in and have one of the worst, only 12 sacks. After getting 18 and 17, and then 12 sacks, less tackles than the other years, less blocks, one more hurry, a few more knockdowns, interception, which is cool, but it's just like, why do these motherfuckers, every time you pay them giant money, that next year they come in and just fucking stink? It's irritating.
Are you talking about
laurels?
Antonio Owens?
Yeah.
He has 12 sacks he had.
Yeah, down from 17 and 18 the 2 years before.
12's still pretty good.
Yeah, if you got another guy that's got double-digit sacks in your team, which I don't this year, 12 is not good. If you only got one guy that can sack, you need 15 plus.
Let's monitor him this season coming up. Let's see if he goes up to 18 now.
Ooh.
Hey, gentlemen, I have to call it an evening.
All right, brother.
Go ahead.
Hey.
Grim, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
Thanks, Howard.
Grim, congratulations again on the bowl win, Kodos. Congratulations for making it. You guys both had a hell of a season.
Thanks,
it was fun to watch that game, and hopefully somebody else will be there like myself next year.
Yeah, I'm hoping not. I'm watching you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm watching my eyes on you. Keep my eyes on you.
Yeah, right on.
Everything we say in here is all false. We're just giving you false information.
Yep,
that's right.
Fake news, brothers.
Fake news. All right, guys. Hey, it was fun. Thanks. Good night. Boys. We'll talk to you later.
Later, man.
I like Antonio Owens.
Yeah, me too. I love the. I think they just talked about that too over in the Quick and Jamie chat. The converting linebackers to defensive ends. Those have been my best guys. Back in my Garrett Ebeling days, he was a weak side linebacker. Changed him over to the defensive end, and bam, took the record until with Jonathan Bark, fucking bomber, took that record over. So,
are you a defensive player, Kodos, or are you more of an offensive player?
Offense. Yeah. I feel like on defense, I get players who are adequate, and except I do like to try to get a good cornerback. Like last season, I probably overpaid for what's his name, Devin Bass, and then I realized this year he's gonna wreck my secondary chemistry.
Oh, who?
Yeah, he has low personnel, like 63. That's not horrid, but it's not good when I had a guy who was in the 90s before.
Oh, see, and that happened to me with Gilbert Fields. But my guy retired, but then I it wasn't until he retired that I noticed Gilbert Fields' leadership was like 98. And then his personality's like way down there, so it's real hard to get guys. Yeah, 34 personality, 98 leadership. But, you know, it is what it is. And Gilbert Fields, I mean, just a great player, and I can't believe I got him for what I got him for. But to me, like, Clay, if you go to the IHOF home screen.
Mm-hmm. Let me get to it.
Yeah, just click over there to the right. The big FOF IHOF. Yeah. Aunt Jemima.
There we go.
So, that top defensive performers. I can almost guarantee you, if I got 2 guys on that fucking list, I'm going to be doing shit. I've always been a defensive guy, and for so long I had a very strong defense, and I'm trying to get back to that. But if I got 2 guys on that list, man, I'm going to be doing things.
So my question is, what's your position that you like? Mine is defensive front line and safeties, who I like.
Oh, yeah, no, I am definitely defensive line, but I also like linebackers. I got 2 really good ones right now, and they made the difference in the playoffs this year for me. If you think about it, linebackers are like so much in coverage. So if you just get some guys that play zone coverage, that's what linebackers mostly play. Because if you look at your box scores or your logs and shit, so many times the linebackers are who are being caught on. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Yeah.
Fumbling over my words. They're being caught on a lot, and it's like linebackers are very important in coverage. And obviously, run defense too. It helps if they got run stuff, but if you got coverage linebackers, I mean, I would pay more attention to linebackers, gentlemen, if you can, you know. But
Yeah, well, I do try to get coverage linebackers, but at a discount. Like they may not have a lot of other skills.
right, and I'll take those over anything,
And
especially if you got. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and the hard part is that a lot of people know that the cover
Yes.
linebacker, and so it's slim pickings out there to try to grab one.
Yeah.
No, I remember. What was the game? It was when Gilmore got injured. So week 8. Then I started. Is this the one I started? I started this guy's second-year guy, and he had 85 zone coverage. James Page, was that the one? He was just fucking terrible. I can't remember the game, but I remember freaking Brian up in there. Hey, at least Jimmy Page is in the locker room playing guitar. I'm like, that's not a useful skill.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
needed
that.
him to cover, and I can't remember the damn game, but it's like he had 12. It was a game against Quick. So it was that one.
I remember that.
And he had week 10. He had fucking 12 passes caught against him. I'm like, what the hell happened? You got like an 80-something fucking zone coverage.
It happens. They can't be Superman all the time.
Well, he tackled every fucking one of them. He had 14 tackles and 12 balls caught on him. It's just, yuck.
He was just trying to pump up his tackle stats.
No,
Let him catch it and then take him down.
if you guys want him, he's going to free agency this year. So
Nope. No.
he plays good. He plays guitar.
That's okay. Let him keep playing guitar. I'll stay with my my defensive front. I wish I could get up in the front to grab a wide receiver.
You may have one fall, brother. There.
Here's the thing.
I thought I counted 20, But that's at first glance. And, MIJB, I know he digs in a little bit, and he said there was 13. Well, not one of those have been taken yet.
But here's the thing. Sooner or later, every team's going to have bunches of wide receivers that they can't take them anymore. So it's got to fall to us sooner or later. Right? Like Merchant Man can't take another receiver. He's got 2 top receivers. Why would he take another one?
Just because he can. Well, why would Tezak take another one? Which he's going to do at 1-7, and he's probably going to be the best wide receiver in the draft.
Absolutely.
Fuck me. So, I mean, there's a lot of them. Do you want to go look at a couple, man?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Yeah, just head over to your draft shit, and
here it is.
Obviously, we're getting your scouting. Just go to wide receiver.
These are the top 3 right
I mean,
now.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Any one of those guys, I take with 1-1. I mean, Hirschberg's what, 30%? Or is that 50? 43?
He's 30%.
He's 30.
Yes.
Okay.
And the other 2 are 43.
43. Any one of those
I'd be
guys
a little scared of Singleton with that endurance.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But Singleton, if he falls to 15, do you not take him?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
But I would trade like 3 first-rounders for McCartney, definitely.
Yep.
Probably Hirschberg, too.
No, and some of those guys are you look at the draft class thing, don't you, Kodos?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see who's blue and who's not. So
Yeah.
definitely Tyrus McCartney is blue. Yep. McCartney's fucking blue. He's our guy. We're drafting him 1-1 every day. Now look at the next 3. Hey, Corey Rose Jr.
Is it
That's one of C-Max's running backs kids.
So these are the next 3.
It's a fun little touch.
You got Joiners, the first one, Rose, and Borders.
So Joiners is chem fit for us. I take him over the other 2. But all of those are worthy of 1-1. I mean, what's the development? 37? He's 43, and he's 23?
He's 23.
Yeah. I mean, this is a wide receiver draft class. Holy shit. And quarterback. I'm going to have to look into something.
And
I want to look into what the drafts are like after I win the bowl. Because what if it's like every time I win the bowl, there's like 3 quarterbacks and 10 wide receivers in the next draft. Yeah, I love conspiracies, man.
Yeah, it's like neither you or I are
okay. So look at this.
Whiff of any of these guys.
Yes, I'll take. Hampton I don't like because of his endurance, but I'll take him because he's going to be falling all the way down there, so he's good.
Okay, so Trenton Hampton is a chemistry for us, me and Kodos. What's the broad jump on him?
Yeah, there's a lot of purple guys.
8-9.
Purple receivers this draft. There's a ton of them.
Hampton's a guy I'll take at, again, 115, mid-pack. I mean, none of these guys are going to be there when we draft.
Nope.
Unless
somebody decides to take my 3 first-rounders.
Well, this is the top 9 of wide receivers.
Yeah, keep digging, dude.
So that's the top 9. So let's
go to the next 3 because there's more.
So we got these 3 right here.
Can almost guarantee all these guys go in the first. I think Jordan King's a grower. Feely,
I can't see.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I wouldn't go with that route running.
But still worth the first round because of the kick returns. If you're at the end of the first round,
yeah,
getting downfield, everything is there except for the route running bar. What is he, dumb? And then, but let me look at it again. Chemistry fit for us. Kodos.
Let's see. He's 1027. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, that's blue. He's a blue guy.
Okay.
I got this pulled up on the draft class. And then Reggie
So
Yeah.
this
Reggie Francis is also like low endurance, but
So this is the top 12. Okay.
yep.
Let's see 3 more. That'll bring us up to 15. 2 and 3. Okay. We got Heath.
So maybe slowing down a little bit here.
What do we got here?
And then Ben will grab someone who's not even on the screen.
Maybe.
Well, White's not that bad.
Okay, so and this is why. Okay, this is 15, and this is why MIJB was thinking 13 in the first round. Omar White could go.
Mm-hmm.
These other two,
Yeah, I wouldn't touch Wolmoth.
no. Well, special teams. What's Wilmoth though? Almost
Like that route running is atrocious.
it is, but he's blue. So chem fit, special teams, full, just a ball, courage, big play, receiving. So you just special teams him, and he's a third down guy downfield every time.
On a big play.
Yeah, that would scare me off still.
True, but when he's running that flat route where he just has to run straight ahead, I don't think even a route running guy with 0 could fuck that up. but look at Matt Wolf and Javier Tyler and Sean Simmons.
This is 18. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all
this
of
is
these
18.
guys.
18.
All of these guys are playable. I'm sure some of them crash. I mean, we're not looking at their volatility or anything, but average on all these guys, low on Matt Wolf. And which one of these are fucking chemistries for us? Matt Wolf is not. Looks like
I'm number 58 when I pick. So I'm not even going to get close. I'm not even going to sniff these guys.
so. Javier Tyler, Godos is a fit for us too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm looking at them in Analyzer. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 8, 9
Yep.
receivers out of the top 20 or so.
When do you pick Kodos?
131.
31st, I think.
He's 31 and I'm 32. We're not getting any of these guys.
Yeah.
Especially not after this chat. Oh wait, yeah.
So-
No, this won't go up until Tuesday, right?
It won't
So
go up
first
till
round will be
Tuesday. Yes.
well, first round won't be over till Wednesday because people don't fucking pick in this league for some reason. Fuck me,
Sure.
man.
There is a bit of a pattern there.
But think about this. You're about 15 players. So there's 32 teams. You two are 31 and 32. Okay, so there's 30 teams in front of you. So 15 go. There's 15 other players still to go. You think everyone's going to take a wide receiver?
It do.
I don't know how he picks at 21, and I was looking at the 2 top cornerbacks. I'm like, maybe those 2 top cornerbacks don't go. Go check those out quick.
I just want to see these last 3.
Oh yeah,
Way
no,
out for a minute.
no,
Just want to see. Okay, no.
they're going to be good.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest, that cornerback, I want him, but there's no way he's going to fall.
Which one now?
The 2 top
I think
ones.
it is.
The 2 top ones are good.
Okay.
I'd take either one of those motherfuckers in the top 10. I'm telling you.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
But you
Merrill?
see,
Definitely.
they give you 18 wide receivers in the draft, and they give you 2 cornerbacks to cover them. Because the rest aren't very good. But these 2 guys, Halverson, I'd probably play at safety. But Merrill, dude, damn. 6 foot. Man, well, he's got high volatility too. Ugh,
I know.
gross.
I saw that. The high volatility. That's the thing. It's like,
No, and then we're going to have a discussion with somebody who knows, does that really matter? Because
I pick players that they tanked.
Yeah, I try to have guys with lower volatility, unless later rounds, because that volatility could mean that they're going to jump up, you know?
Yeah, I definitely shy away from it in the earlier rounds.
Yep.
And he's got good weight, too. So you take those two. What's these guys?
Yeah, these guys ain't so good. Stevens, I'd play at safety. Move him over. He's got low endurance, though.
They'd end up like my Ruby.
Vandervoort, I'd probably play, but I got good linebackers and a strong defensive line, so I don't need run defense from a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got the right size, so he'd be good he'd be a first round pick for me.
And safeties. I love safeties.
Me too.
Come on.
So yeah,
Emmons is gonna go. Oof. I'm not sure if he's gonna go. He's got a high
look at that.
volatility.
Yeah, look at that.
Example there.
97. It was 132. If he's there, I could take him. Take the chance. I mean, what's the worst he's going to
risk at the bottom of the first?
Yeah, what's the worst he's going to crash? Well, look at Werfel with his fucking 100 interception. Man,
Evans going to be picked. I say top 18.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so. We're not posting this until Tuesday night.
Oh, they're both my fucking color too. So if I could get Werfel, man. So cover one buzz. Your strong safety plays man defense. If they pass, Miles Werfel needs to be on my team. Look at that shit. Interceptions, man.
Let's see if this guy goes top 18. Emmons. Not bad.
Emmons.
I like Thornton.
Thornton is good. See, for me, Tucker Conley, not on my team because I don't play bump, but a guy playing him could drop some weight. That's a bump and run team. Get some shit. This is a great fucking draft. One of the best that I've seen in a while because we keep getting garbage and people keep getting good players. But for me, seems like every 6, 7, 8 seasons, I get a chemistry draft that I can work with. But then I win the bowl and then, and then Kodos loses the bowl and he has 31 and I have 32 and that's all of our picks.
Yeah.
I counted down where I would start picking. I'm picking around down here. Over here. Where did it go? Yeah, I'm down by this guy.
Hey, Kodos. Dude, it's so cool to have you here. Your name's Chris, right?
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, it has been. This has been great. You gotta join more of these. I love digging through this shit.
Yeah, for some reason it never seems to line up with my schedule.
Well, it did tonight, so lucky you.
Yeah, it's good to get a lot of group of people on. It's hard to get other people because like you, Chris, the schedule.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, my name's Justin, by the way. So.
Justin. Okay. I'm terrible with names, so.
No, that's fine. I can't look you in the eyes and make sure you got it, but I know you now, so. But no, this is good shit.
All right, fellas. I'm gonna end it here.
Yep.
And we'll post it on. It'll probably be on Tuesday night. And have fun in the draft. And let's see how these players fall in the draft after our conversation.
And if anyone will let me trade up.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, no, I've tried like the last few drafts, and it's no use.
Okay, before we hang up here, if most of those wide receivers start dropping, and you see 2 of them or 3 of them that you really want, would you start trading up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will not.
Assuming I can find someone.
There's, but yeah, I suppose, Chris, if there's some blue guys left at 220 or 120, do you try to trade up with your 132 and your 232 and your 332 to get a guy, or your 131, your 231, and your 331? I mean, well, who's going to accept that? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how all those wide receivers that we mentioned don't get drafted in the first round. At least the first 12.
Yeah.
Maybe 15.
I think you're going to see a run on receivers.
Yep.
Really.
Before we hang up, who is the top? I'm going to see the teams out there. You got Alf Bardo.
Wide receiver. Hanley, wide receiver.
Yeah. Paris,
wide receiver.
Colorado.
Wide receiver.
Sawblade.
Zach. That's Zach's pick. Wide receiver.
Brooklyn.
Wide receiver.
Houston.
Wide receiver.
Atlanta.
Wide receiver.
And how was it?
Cert.
Cert.
Well,
defense,
does he have any wide receivers? I mean, now you're asking questions that we got to go look. Right. Probably wide receiver.
He's had two good ones.
Does he have North Plainfield?
Yeah, he's got
two
decent ones.
Or am I thinking
those are decent?
Okay.
Yeah, those are decent. No, okay. So Cert, wide receiver. Fairbanks.
Let's
Albion's gonna wide receiver. Yep. LB wide receiver.
And this is Haynes. OBX.
Haynes,
Let's see.
OBX.
He is. He's got
wide receiver.
He's wide receiver. Yeah.
San Antonio.
No, that's Snapfinger, isn't it?
Oh, Snapfinger. No, I don't know what he needs.
He's pretty well stocked.
He can go any direction. He's got a starting wide receiver.
He's got a stacked team. His team is stacked. All right. So after him is Quick. You think Quick's going to go wide receiver?
Wide receiver, if there's one there. But I don't know the rest of the draft and the colors that he goes for. So
he's got.
I have to look at that.
He's got decent receivers. He's got one really good one, and
he's got.
Although he got injured,
he did for a big one.
And then he took a hit in camp.
And I should probably,
You know, you guys might be right.
And I should go hit up Quick for Castillo for 132 and grab him because he's a chemistry fit for me and not for him. Don't know if you get rid of him. So yeah, I think at least the next 10 picks are wide receivers. They got to be. There's no other way.
Go offer Alpha a bunch of picks and see what.
He hasn't picked yet.
My fellow alien.
You have time.
Yeah.
You have time.
Not much hope though.
All right, fellas. It was fun.
Dude, this was awesome. This was so fucking fun. Awesome.